Hi guys, welcome to this new video to your channel Tech Fanatics. In this video we are going to do something very interesting. I am going to show you how to install Windows 7 or any Windows for that matter in VMware Workstation or VMware Player. The both of the things are same. Workstation is a pro edition of VM Player, and if you are going to use a lot of VMs for professional use, and if you want snapshots to be made of your virtual machine. Now snapshots are like system restore points. So let's say your virtual machine gets corrupted or you want to restore back to a certain date, then you can use those snapshots to restore your machine back to the date. You can buy VMware Workstation, or if you want to use the free edition, you can use VMware Player. There are other virtualization tools also, like VirtualBox or Hyper-V, Microsoft Hyper-V for Windows, and for Mac you will get Parallels and Boot Camp. However, we are not going to show you how to install Windows in those tools. The method is the same, it's just worded a little differently. So let's straight away jump into the video. I will be talking to you about the advantages and why you should be doing this when Windows is installing, because that will take a lot of time. So to launch VMware Player, it's called VMware Workstation Player, but I have the free edition. We click on this, and depending on your CPU and your speed, it will take some time. Yeah, it's loaded. I'll be giving you the download links for VMware Workstation. For Windows 7 ISOs, you'll have to get the ISO from Microsoft website or any other site. I would highly not recommend torrents, as this ISOs can be modified and may contain malware. So to start, we'll have to select a new virtual machine, and I have Windows XP also installed, as you can see, and we select create a new VM. Okay, now my laptop does not have a DVD drive, and I have the Windows 7 ISO, which I'm going to select, and it's okay. So it will use easy install. We don't want to know what this. Okay, now it's asking me okay, now I have selected to download updates on startup, and there is 12.5.3 available, but I will not waste your time by downloading it for now. I'll just say remind me later, and let's go. Okay, so it's asking us for a Windows product key. Now I'm not going to activate Windows 7 and use it extensively. This is only for this video to show you all how to do this. So I'm going to keep this field blank, and if you keep this field blank, you can use Windows 7 in trial mode for 30 days. Windows 7 Ultimate, and I'm going to put my full name as TIN. Okay, so we want to install the 32-bit. I'll not enter any password because, as I said, it's only for demo. Yes, We'll keep this field as it is, and it's going to be saved here. Okay, now this is a very important step. I'm going to reduce the size to 40 GB, as I said, because okay, what this does is you can, if you select it to split multiple files, you can take small segments of your drive and move them over to a pen drive or move them to a DVD or something like that. But it's very old-fashioned way. I mean, who uses DVDs nowadays? So I'm going to select store as a single file, because the advantage of this is you can just easily move it to other computers, although you may have some driver issues which VMware player will automatically sort it out. And it's a large file, 40 GB. I mean, what happens is, as you install Windows 7, it will take some size out of 40 GB, and as you go on using it, downloading things or adding programs and things, the size will increase, but you can only maximum go up to 40 GB. If you want, you can expand your hard drive, but I would not recommend it, because expanding a hard drive degrades the performance of virtual machines. Okay, now we don't want to power it on, we want to customize. We will be powering it on, but first let's customize the hardware. Okay, memory. Now I'll have to talk to you about this. Memory, you'll have to select according to what your system has. Now, very important step, do not allocate the entire RAM to virtual machine, because your guest OS and your host OS, your system has to run two OSs, and your host OS also has to run processes. So if you allocate your entire RAM, then you won't have a good virtual machine performance, and also your host machine will also hang and may cause the VMware player to not respond. So what I would do is, my rule of thumb would be to give 50% of what you have. Now I have 4 GB of RAM, and I'm going to give it 2 GB. You can directly type 2048 here, but yeah, 2048. Okay, so the memory we have allocated. Okay, processors, these are cores. Another step, another important thing, you'll have to know how many cores your CPU has got. If you don't know how many cores the CPU has got, you can search on Google for your laptop model and then adjust accordingly. However, if you do not find this information, even leaving it at 1 core will not harm anything. It won't give you the best performance, but it won't harm anything. You can allot all of your cores to virtual machine, because the kernel will only take how much cores it requires. So I have 4 cores. I'm going to allot all of the 4. Okay, so for now we'll have to allocate this new CD drive. Once you have Windows installed, I would recommend you to, I'll show you how to do that, but I'll recommend you to click on settings and then remove the CD. Network adapter is NAT. You can select private or host only. If you select host only, then your virtual machine will not be able to access the internet. And then there's custom. You can select your own virtual network, which is very advanced, and we won't go into this video. So NAT is what we want. You can keep the USB controller on. Printer, I'll be removing the printer. because the printer just adds another option. So I'm just going to remove it, and we are not going to use any printer. I mean, I'm not going to even use this virtual machine after showing it to you all. So we want it to power on after creation, and we are going to click finish. Now what it is doing is it's creating the VMDK file, that is a disk file for the virtual machine, and once it's done, it will power the virtual machine on, and then you will see Windows loading files and expanding files. And it will go through a normal installation routine, how it goes through on a computer. Now this is Windows 7. You can use the same methods, the same steps to install Windows XP, Windows 8, Windows 10 or any other OS. You can even use the same steps to install Linux or Android. There is Android x86 project, and there is also a remix project of Android which you can run on VMware. The method is the same. You'll just have to get the installation media or the ISO from the sources. Now why you would want to install Windows on VMware? This is a very important thing, because let's say if you visit some bad sites, we use torrents a lot, which anyway I don't recommend. Then what happens is, using torrents you get infected. So let's say you are on Windows, you get infected, you have to format your computer and you lose all your files. But if you are on a virtual machine, you can just install the torrent client or whatever sites you want to visit. If you get infected, you can just delete your virtual machine and create a new one. There's no softwares to install or anything. And if you have VMware Workstation Pro, and if you make snapshots of your virtual machine, then you can restore it back to the date when it was before you got infected. This is one advantage. Another advantage would be if you are using Windows 10 or Windows 8 and you want to use software that only works in Windows 98 or Windows XP, then you can install XP and use the software in that way. Although Windows 7 and 8 supports compatibility mode, but still it's better to have an OS on which the software works. Okay, so machine is powered on, and I'm going to give the keyboard control to the machine. Now for some reason I did not get the software update dialog available, but if you do this, you will get a dialog, and you will require internet connection to install Windows 7 or any Windows in VMware. It will download something called VMware Tools. Now this tools depends on OS, so you'll require different VMware tools for Linux, for Android and other OSs. It enhances your performance, so always say yes to that. You need to never say no, because it has some audio fixes, some fixes to mouse and keyboard latency problems and other fixes. So you always need to have the latest version of VMware tools. There are some offline sources. If I get offline sources for VMware tools for all the OSs, then I will link it up, but if I don't, then there won't be a link in the description. But anyway, it's best to have the latest and greatest VMware tools. So as you can see, the files are loading and it's doing the installation part. And it will do the normal reboot cycle and all those things. but your VMware will reboot, your computer will stay on. This does take a while to install, about 40 minutes to an hour depending on your computer speed and depending on how much memory you have allocated to the installation. And I will be fast forwarding this part of the installation. Okay, so we have installed Windows 7. Windows 7 is ready to boot after installation. Now what I'm going to show y'all is how to share the drives and folders that are stored in the host OS of your computer so that you can access them in Windows 7. So let's boot Windows 7. Launch VMware Workstation Player 12. We are not going to boot Windows 7. First we are going to share the folder that we want. So we'll go to settings, now you need to go to the options page and then you need to go to shared folders and check the always enable box. Without this the sharing will not work. Okay, you need to even check this box, map as a network drive. Now you can share everything, that is all of your drives that are in the host computer. You can share your network storage devices, and also removable storages are mounted automatically inside Windows, so no need of sharing them. I'm going to share my C drive. Click next, browse, and select the local disk C. You can select multiple drives. You can add more folders if you want, but I just have one partition, so I'm going to this name I'm going to keep it as it is. You can change it as you need. You need to check this. By default it's checked and you need to keep it checked. For added security, I would recommend that you check the read-only box. Unless you are downloading something to the shared drive, then you will have to uncheck the read-only box and finish. Okay, we are all set up, and click on OK, and let's boot Windows 7. Now sometimes you can get an error, and this error is because of a CD DVD drive. If your computer does not have a CD DVD drive, then you get this error, and I'm going to say no to this. Now a quick and easy way to get the keyboard and mouse controls registered to Windows 7 is by pressing the control. So we'll press Ctrl and G to give the keyboard control back to Windows 7, and this will take some time to boot as the system is recording as well as running the VM. So there you go, that's a login of Windows 7. Now I'll be showing you how to access your shared folders once everything loads. Now this VM is going to be a bit choppy because there is not much system resources, and we are also streaming. So we'll open network. And we'll okay, so we open the network and then we have to click on the shared we'll close this box. Okay, it's expand. Okay, then we have to open the shared folders. And here is the C folder that we just shared in the settings of this virtual machine. Now if you open this, these are all my files and folders, including the Windows folder, because C drive is also the system drive. Now we can do everything that we would do inside a normal Windows 7 desktop. We could play games, however you won't have the best gaming experience in VMware that you would have if you install it on a desktop. So you could play games and videos, but mostly it is used for lab environments where you don't need that demanding resources, unless you have very good system and with lot of resources like 8 to 16 GB of RAM, then you can dedicate more to Windows 7. There is no limit of RAM that you can dedicate, however do not dedicate the entire RAM that you have to this VM. So we will okay, so that's it for this video for today. If you need any more tips on how to install the OS, any other OS in VMware, do enter it in the comment section. Also, stay subscribed to the channel and use the affiliate Flipkart and Amazon links. It helps the channel